is the energy body extracts records from your previous embodiment. Okay, so whatever it is that you have experienced in your physical life, they're kind of like records, almost like Akashic records, and they start to get extracted. So there's this like transference. Yeah, there's no whoosh, you know, there's none of that whoosh stuff. There could be, but on most part, no, it doesn't work that way. Okay, so we're now going into our emotional body, okay? And we spend some time there for the extraction of records from the physical lifetime, okay? Which is really, really very fascinating indeed. Now, what happens is, it's like uploading your files. Yes, Erica, spot on right there. It's like an upload, okay? And it takes a little bit of time to process the upload. But another reason why we spend an extended, perhaps, duration of time in the emotional body, Truth Crew, is because, yes, absolutely. She put it brilliant, didn't she? Absolutely. There is an upload that goes on, okay? Now, another thing that happens is that we pass through rewards and punishments. Yes, exactly, you are. So we do pass what's known as rewards and punishments, just like the physical body. So if you think that everything that goes on in the physical is like game over when you leave the physical body, you couldn't be further from the immutable truth. That is an untruth. Okay, so we go into this emotional body and we do go past rewards and punishments just like the physical body, okay, because of matters that have been addressed or neglected, okay. So whatever it is that has been addressed or neglected, we must readdress or continue to address until the situation is resolved. So it doesn't get resolved just because you have left your physical body. There are still issues to resolve, because that's the whole purpose of physical embodiment. It's actually to resolve our issues. Hey, Common, thanks for coming in. Bauer, thank you for being here. Some of you have nipped in and out. Is your connection okay, guys? Okay. So we must extract the essence of the experience in the physical in order to build the soul. Guys, did you get that? This is a very important point right here, okay? We must extract essence of our experiences in order to build soul. So that's what we're doing on the physical. It's like we're doing Lego. Do you know what I mean? Taking bits away, putting bits together. Some bits don't fit. Some bits collapse. Yes. Is that why people get stuck between or in limbo? Yes, it is. And that can happen when you're in the physical, and that can happen when you're on the non-physical. And this is why some of my work, an aspect of my work, is helping souls that have passed. So I do transformation processes on beings that have passed to help them to transit to where it is they need to go more peacefully. That's part of what I do, one of the many things that I do. And because, you know, the problems don't just disappear and vanish when you've left the physical. It doesn't happen that way. Perhaps it does, according to what it is that you've experienced here. It all depends, right? So that's what happens next. Are you with me so far with that, Truth Crew? Are you okay with that? Yes? Wow, are you serious? Your abilities are way beyond. Well, you've just said it. They're way beyond, because we are way beyond the physical. Absolutely way beyond. Whoosh and then gone. I hope that's me. Whoosh and then gone. Don't want to go through all these stages, you know. Done enough of that here. Yeah, so it's like there's how can I say this? An energetic Super Mario game going on after we finished this one here. So the game continues, you know. So if you ever thought that suicide was the way out, You couldn't be more disillusioned than that. It does not finish there. Okay, especially if you created the unfinished business, which in truth we all did create the unfinished business, you're going to have to deal with it. I love it. Hidden levels. It is the hidden levels. Totally. Sumo lovers, what's going on? Yes, it's true. It's truth. It's truth, right? Not true. It's absolute truth. Okay. So that's what happens. And so don't forget the rewards and the punishment, yeah? And don't forget the rewards and the punishment, guys. It's not something that's being dispatched to you, you know, from some kind of malevolent God. Do you know what I mean? The rewards and punishments are things that you have created on the physical domain, okay? And you basically need to wrap that up. Do you know what I mean? We have to get our shit together and get responsible for what it is that we have and have not done. And if you haven't gotten responsible for it, then you will be faced with the same issues. There's no running away from your... No, there's no running away. There's only dealing with it. There is only accountability. That's all there is. Okay? And the most amazing way that we can be accountable is know our metaphysics, develop our intuition and our psychiatry, and know about cosmic laws and virtues and all of this wonderful stuff that I do transmissions about. And that's perhaps the best way that you can deal with your stuff. Yeah, it really, really is. So we've talked about the emotional body that we move through, that body. Knock me over with a feather. Okay. Okay, so then what happens after that, guys, is we then pass up to the mental body. Plop. Now, then pass up to the mental body, which is, I guess, one of the highest ones that there are. Yes, in terms of the bodies, the mental body. And it corresponds to the etheric body in terms of our energy fields when we look at it metaphysically. And our mental body is where all of those records, all of the uploads are stored. Okay? Don't forget, the universe is mind. It is universal mind. Okay? Mind. Everything is mind. And that is where the records are stored. Okay? And also within the soul. So that's where the mental, passed up to the mental, is where the records are preserved, let's say. Okay? Now, in theological concepts of eternal punishment, of reward, these don't actually provide the answers to our questions at all. Okay? Because they say that if you believe a certain religion, there's going to be salvation. Yeah? If you believe this religion or that religion, then it means that everything is going to be hunky-dory and you are going to go into the eternal kingdom of heaven. Not so. Not so. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's not so. Because at the end of the day, you need to deal with your own stuff. And that is the bottom line. So this is why in metaphysics we say that we are creators. We are co-creators. Huh? What don't you understand, my love? And we'll clear it right up. It isn't. It isn't. Sorry to burst the bubble, guys, but it isn't. But heaven, it's what you create. It's what you create. So the bottom line is when you get to resolve the majority of your stuff, okay, then what you experience in the afterlife would be peace and serenity and beauty and all of those things. Okay, you will experience that. But it happens because of what it is that you have created, what it is you have dealt with, and what it is that you have not dealt with. That is how you experience the afterlife. So I guess what's taught in some of the theological concepts does have some bearing, because what they're talking about at the end of the day is be a good person and you'll have a great afterlife. Really, if we just take out all of the knickknacks of it, right? That's the bottom line. But if you are constantly doing bad things, for example, right, just to show you how it doesn't work, right? If you are constantly doing things that are against natural law, cosmic law, universal law, and you just go to the church and do a prayer, for example, okay, that's not going to get you the ticket to peace. Do you know what I mean? You need to deal with your actions. You need to deal with what it is that you've done, on a deep and profound level. You need action to deal with it. So your emotion, thought and deed needs to be in alignment when you are dealing with your wrongdoings, okay? Wrongdoings don't just get sort of like overlooked just because you've left your physical body. That's what we're saying here, okay? So does that make sense? So even heaven, everything, exactly, own it, baby, own it, yeah. I thought you meant there was no heaven at all. Well, it depends what you mean by heaven again, It's not like a literal place, okay? It's a place that we create. It's a place that we create through our actions and non-actions. What we do and what we don't do. That's how we create it. So when people have had like near-death experiences, for example, and they experience hell, the devil and all of that, do you know why they experience that? It could be because they have been programmed to believe it in their physical experience, or because they've done really nasty stuff and feel guilty about it, so that's what they experience, okay? On the other hand, you've got the opposite spectrum of things. People pass over, and if they've had a conditioning or a programming of there is a heaven, there are angels, there is the Garden of Eden and all such things, then perhaps when they have their out-of-body experience, okay, they experience those things, and so they say, with absolute concrete confidence, they will say that, this is how it is because I experienced it. So what you mean is confessing and forgiving some sins don't matter. Well, it does matter, but it depends how deeply you go with it. Is it just something that you say, or is it something that you back up with action, with feeling and with deed? That is how it matters. A virtue doesn't become real just because you read it out of some scriptures, A virtue only becomes crystallized when you embody it on all levels, when you embody it emotionally, mentally, physically, thought, deed and action. Yes, thought, deed and emotion, excuse me. Does that make sense? This is how you make it matter. Great. And that is so, so important. So when the scriptures and the holy books talk about forgiveness, you do it, but you do it through engage with that through all aspects of self. You don't just read it, or you don't just do it because you decided to go and confess, for example, and the vicar or the priest said to you, well, say 20 Hail Marys and that's it. No, that's not how it's done at all. That's BS, okay? Because you are not doing it through conscious action. You're just doing it because you have been made to do it through guilt, okay? Or because somebody told you to. I always wondered about that. Well, now you know the truth about that. You've got to mean it through and through, Rit. Absolutely, my darling. You've got to mean it, right? Right to the bone. Right to the soul level. You have got to mean it. Is it Rob's? Okay. So this is what makes it real. So we clarified that. Yeah, is that all good? So this is another little truth that you need to know. This is an amazing one. It's a bit of a truth bomb. Robin, thank you, my darling, for clarifying that, my love. Okay. So another little pointer that I want to share with you is that soul can be destroyed, but spirit cannot be destroyed. Soul can be destroyed, but spirit cannot be destroyed. Okay, this is one of those truths. So what on earth am I talking about when I say that? Yeah. So soul is